Well, YouTubers, it is I, Hell Gear. Welcome back to Snoopy's Town Tale. And I had a very interesting issue go on in my game. Maybe you guys have had this too. Apparently, I had an issue where collecting these pictures, it wouldn't even register. And I had like three of these, so it seems like this problem has passed. Now I got to re-get all of these pictures. Kind of blows super hard because I'm almost out of time. Nevertheless, we're back and doing more of the stuff. So, here's where I sit in the game right now. Marcy has teamed up with Lucy to get Linus and Sally out of the pumpkin patch instead of waiting for the great pumpkin every year. And they've decided, you know what? Let's curse them. Like, put a curse on these kids. Like, this is the best friendship thing you could ever do is put a curse on your friends. How wild is that? Right? We're just going to put a curse on them. Can you believe that it took them this long to finally say, you know what? We're tired of these guys missing out on everything. Let's just play a trick where we curse the pumpkin patch where they sit, where they want to wait. Yeah, we're going to do that. I like this idea, honestly, but so much wrong can go with it. And that's the saddest part, right? So much wrong can go with this concept. And you might scar somebody for life. You know, kids be doing the meanest things back in the 90s. So back in the 60s when this was around, or probably the 50s and 60s when this was around, the kids were probably even more cruel. But then you have to think about how they had the better treats for Halloween in the places that celebrated it. Like, I still remember those days where Mother Hell would talk to me about her Halloween, right? And how they had full size candy bars, right? When you look at the full size of a candy bar nowadays, and it's like, man, my parents got this. It's amazing. You know, trick or treaters are like the rarest thing in the world. Times truly have changed, mainly because it's not safe for trick or treaters anymore, which is sad. But how often do you guys see kids on the streets on Halloween night? Maybe it's different from neighborhood to neighborhood. You know, maybe it's just different from neighborhood to neighborhood. And I'm just the weird one. Then again, I've always been the weird one. So here's the thing. Normally, I would have some Halloween themed music, but Me coming back to do this series, I wanted to test it out before I can do some like fun audio like I used to. You know, this October has this October hits differently. You know, I've explained this multiple times about what's been going on with my family, and it's just not the same anymore. It really isn't. And as I'm thinking about next month, it's like, well, this is going to be the most difficult Thanksgiving for me to do. And honestly, half of me is not looking forward to it. You know, half of me is not looking forward to doing Thanksgiving, but I'm going to do Thanksgiving for the simple fact that I have to show and understand that, well, you know what? This was going to happen eventually. You know, how do I want to ask my audience out there who don't have parents anymore? I want to ask you guys specifically. You had that moment where you lost your parents, one, the other, both, and it was before the holiday season, right? How did that make you feel? Like, how difficult was it to sit at the table and know that that empty parental chair isn't going to be filled anymore? Well, hell gear, I just get through it because life goes on. We just remember the times we had with them. You know, and that's a good way of doing it. Like my brother Major Blood 12, he wants to make one of mom's famous holiday cakes. And it's like, you know what? We should do that. Like the first time we started going through like the room for our folks, and we found Father Hell's liquor. Like my dad had some excellent taste. I mean, he does have a membership at Bevmo. I still got to go to Bevmo and let them know he passed away. Oh, that's going to be a pain. All right. And this man had really good taste in liquor. Like my brother found the big little round bottle of brandy. And I was like, you know what, bro? Here, take that. You know what? You guys do that. You like you do dark liquor every now and again on occasion, so here, you have that. And they just drank that, you know, to toast my pops off. And when I mean they, I mean my brother and my nephew. You know, I can understand my nephew wanting to just knock them back because, well, Father Hell died on my nephew's birthday. He died on my nephew's 23rd birthday. So taking a shot of Popo's brandy to help ease his pain, I give him that, especially since I kind of ruined his plans being at the hospital that day. And oh, give me a minute. I need to catch myself here. Um, mm. Whew, okay. That one was rough. All right, now where was I? Oh yeah, that's right. My dad's really good taste in drink. He had really good taste in drink. Like really good taste in drink. And when I see these bottles, just one of his bottles of rum, I saw this. I'm like, the seal hasn't even been cracked on this bottle of rum, and he's had it for a while. And I'm like, wow. You know what? When Thanksgiving comes, I'm going to take the shot of this. I'm just going to take a shot of this rum. I'm not the drinking kind. I'm not the drinking type. Like my whole family knows I don't do the alcohol. But it's like, you know what? Toast to your father's life. Toast to Father Hell's life. Toast to Mother Hell's life. Right? They earned this one. Do it for them. You may not ever touch that liquor again, but toast them off because that's your job. Now, as for Halloween, I don't know if I want to get candy or not. Like these past few years of Halloween, kids haven't even shown up. So I'm thinking, you know what? I'm probably not even going to get candy. That way, I don't have a bunch of old, hard ass candy nobody wants to eat. See if there's something that I can sell. And that was something Mother Hell had. I could sell those for 200 of the candles. I'll sell these. Oh, that gave me a little bit more space. And it's like, yeah, I'm not going to do all that madness, but I will do just enough. Like, I think Munchie, well, I had a talk with Munchie. Munchie wants to do the Halloween thing, and there's going to be a Pokeween Halloween thing on the Day of the Dead, the day after Halloween. And it's like, you know what? Maybe I should go to that. I don't play Pokemon Go, but at least I can do that and get out the damn house. You know, Mother Hell was a homebody, but not me. I got to get out of the house every now and again. You know, last thing I need to be is a recluse in my spot, and I'm not old yet. You know, Mother Hell passed away at 69 years giggity, but she was going to turn 70 this year. She didn't get to see her 70th birthday. Father Hell, he saw his 71st birthday in the hospital. Hell, he saw my birthday this year in the hospital. It's kind of rough. Now, as far as Halloween is concerned, and I need to get off of the death talk here, because Day of the Dead is the day after Halloween. But here's the thing. Um, the plot for Marcy and Lucy to trick Linus into being cursed out of the pumpkin patch so he doesn't wait for the great pumpkin, along with Sally and I think Peppermint Patty as well. This feels like an episode from the Apple cartoon. Like this feels like something they would have done in the Apple cartoon. Now, if anybody can confirm that has Apple TV Plus, I would greatly appreciate that. Really, I would. You know, like a lot of these streaming services, man, they're going through it. You know, especially if your streaming service is Disney Plus and Hulu at ESPN Plus. Woo! We. Yeah, you guys, y'all got the biggest, y'all got the biggest slap to the face. Mm-hmm. They got the biggest slap to the face because they caved. They capitulated. And as a result, the people who gave you money because you capitulated to coercion of all things were like, well, since you didn't give two halves of one ish about free speech, we're just going to cancel our subscription. We're going to cancel it. So many people canceled their Disney Plus and their Hulu subscriptions because of this. I looked at this and I'm like, you know what? You guys go ahead and cancel that shit. I'm not going to. I need mine. Where you gonna go? Paramount Plus? Paramount Plus is capitulated TV. Like, to everybody who canceled their subscription service, and then Jimmy Kimmel comes back and he makes the line that rips on people to reactivate their Disney Plus. That shit was funny, right? Oh, his ratings suck. Oh, his ratings are bad. His ratings suck. Look, everybody's ratings fucking suck right now. All right, nobody's gonna have the best ratings. Oh well, the president showed the ratings for Jimmy Kimmel's show from 10 years to now. Yeah, but you got to remember something. We're 3 years out of quarantine. Okay? We've only been out of quarantine for 3 years. And guess what? The 3 years that we were in quarantine was a part of that graphic that was shown off. And last time I checked, everybody's ratings during quarantine were zero. Now, you think about that for a minute. Who's going to the studio to watch a late night talk show during quarantine? Nobody, right? Like I saw the episode of Pussy Valley where they tried to be in the light club, but they were like, all right, we're gonna get look, it's this full capacity. Well, let's get a little bit more. It's like, all right, fine. But y'all better keep your mask on. Do I have your outfit? Yes, I do. I can put you down at the table. Of course, Frida's gonna look in the damn mirror. Look, ain't this some mess? See, that's Frida right there. I didn't even notice the little design on the back of the hmm, on the hem of her skirt. That's what it's called. Jeez. That's what it is. Of course, she's gonna look at herself in the mirror. I have I have to fix my natural curly red hair. Ah, gotta fix that hair. Matter of fact, let's give her a little time to fix her hair right now. All right, so personally, when it comes to the concept of scaring the bejesus out of Linus from the pumpkin patch, good luck with that. I hope it works. For the sole purpose of it would be nice. You know, there are a lot of things that I look at when it comes to like the would have been nice to get that. Don't I have a pumpkin, Snoopy? Succulents. You know what? Put those right there. Should have been had these down 6 hours. Uh, right. I had this weird dream once. Right. It was a Charlie Brown special. Jeannie Schultz, if you're listening, please don't be mad at this. Right. It was a Charlie Brown special, not like the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. Right. And as per usual, we got the modern day animation. Charlie Brown still having trouble with the cut with the crisp with the Halloween outfit, right? But instead of him being the bed sheet with a whole bunch of holes trying to be a ghost, he actually has a decent costume. You know, his costume isn't completely ass, but he's got a decent looking costume. So he's trying to be a skeleton, right? But the bones don't look quite right. And as per usual, when he goes to do trick or treating, what happens? I would love to put this down, but I just can't, right? What happens, right? Everybody else is getting candy. and they toss the rock in his bag, right? Now, mind you, they don't give him the rock right out because, like, when you look at It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and Charlie Brown walks up, you can see the rock get tossed into his bag, right? What they give him is a little present, these little gifts, a small little gift box, right? And he had his trick or treat bag full of these small little gift boxes, right? And when he opens up the first gift box at home, it's a rock, right? It's a rock. Now, he goes through all the gift boxes and you see he's sitting there, he's got the mad face, right? And I'm like, and I'm watching as it shows this part in the dream, and I'm like, why does this look like I've seen it before? And then I look at the newspapers from the newspaper I got, which was on the kitchen table. This is all happening in the dream, right? The cartoon has literally gone to commercial. So I look at the newspaper in the funny section. Apparently, because we know this is a dream because Schultz ain't doing the comic strip anymore. Apparently, I think it's his grandson that picked up the pencil and decided to continue Sparky's legacy, right? And it's exactly what just showed on the cartoon, right? Charlie Brown opens up, he pours out all of the trick or treat bag, and it's all these gifts. He opens one and it's a rock inside, right? And then the last panel shows exactly what was going on in the cartoon. Charlie Brown is sitting there at the table between two piles, one pile of open presents and then a pile of rocks. And then the comic strip just has him with the same pissed off expression, but the speech bubble says, the classic line, "I can't stand it." Right? So the cartoon comes back. It's Halloween night, right? But it's like the end of Halloween night, right? The middle of the night. Because, back in those days, you could stay out till 1 in the morning. I did it one time where I had a Halloween where I was out till 1 in the morning getting candy, right? So it's the late of the night. You just see all these houses in the neighborhood, and all of a sudden, you hear this breaking sound, right? Now, here's the funny part: the cartoon is showing all these houses, but they're just regular houses. It's the middle of the night, and then you hear all this breaking. The stuff is just being broken. Then the cartoon pans to a window, and all you can see is a rock going through the glass window. I'm like, okay, now we know what's happening. He's giving back all the rocks. So what you then see is a shadowy figure throwing rocks through the windows of all of these houses. Now, mind you, back in those days, they don't know. They don't have security cameras, okay? They don't have that. But here's the funny thing: Charlie Brown's outfit, his skeleton outfit has gloves on. So there's no fingerprints on the rocks, right? But he threw all the rocks back at the houses that gave him a rock when he went trick or treating. And even though he felt better, as soon as he goes to school, right? We got the teacher, wah, 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 that shit, right? Apparently, they have a little announcement. They're looking for who vandalized all the houses, throwing rocks in the neighborhood through all the houses in the neighborhood. And if anybody has any information, please let people know. And Charlie Brown, he's a little scared. And he's thinking in his head, maybe I should tell them I threw the rocks. So he goes home. And as soon as, and he's walking home with Linus, he walks right through the door of his house, right? And it pans right there at the house. And then seconds later, you see him in the rolling cartwheel getting rolled right out of the house. Apparently, it's Charlie Brown's mom doing the womp womps. So now he has to apologize to everybody because, mom knew. Mothers always know. So Mrs. Brown knew Charlie Brown gave all the rocks back. So he had to go around town fixing all the windows that he broke because they gave him rocks for Halloween. Typical parents, they don't understand what the kids go through at them days. I thought that was funny, but it would be nice to see Charlie Brown just either after getting rocks for Halloween, just tired of rocks, plays the trick on his own and starts breaking windows with them. Or even better, he doesn't go trick or treating for Halloween one year and everybody misses him. So when he comes home, he's got a mailbox full of little trick or treat bags that each one is a rock. That sounds like that latter sounds like something a Schultz would do. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back with one more episode of the Halloween event. But for now, I'll see you next time.